That's what New York Giants fans are thinking right now after the win against the Cleveland Browns in Cleveland. Giants take this one 21-15. I don't want to say anything, but somebody, I'm not sure who it was, on the stream today said the New York Football Giants, we're going to beat, the Cleveland Browns 16-10. I have to laugh because no one on the stream, actually, I think outside of myself and one other person, not looking at you, R0B, not looking at you, James, basically said there was no chance for the Giants to win. And of course, we're giving away the Eli Manning replica Super Bowl ring and the 100th anniversary coin as the prize for whoever gets a score right. So I guess I get the ring and everything this week. Really, it was the tale of two halves, to be honest. And if you want to go back to what was the changing factor in this game, it was we're going to say subjective roughing the passer, hands of the pace penalty after the interception on Daniel Jones. At that point in time, the Browns had already scored with Amari Cooper on that after the Eric Gray fumble. And then what happened was Daniel Jones threw an interception, and the gentleman got called for, I can't remember if it was hands to the, it didn't matter what the call was. It was either hands to the face or roughing the passer. And that really changed the tide, I think, for the Giants in the first half and led to 21 Giants first half points. I have a hard time calling that penalty when the guy held up and kind of moved his hands out of the sides to like get away from it. So it's one of those things that if you're a Giant fan, you're like, hell yeah, look what he fucking did. Look at what that asshole did. Daniel Jones throws for 24 of 34 for 236 yards. But you have to look at this. He was 17 for 19 for 178 and 2 touchdowns in the first half. So we matriculated another 60 yards in the second half. They kind of clamped down a little bit. They did over at Cleveland, but you know what? I just had this thought process over and over again that there was no way that this team, Cleveland, with Deshaun Watson was going to beat the Giants. I really didn't, because of the fact that if you looked at Deshaun Watson's play over the last 3 years, it's been horrendous. Big shout outs and big kudos have to go to the defense with their 8 sacks. I mean, they literally harkened back to the Marty Lyons, Joe Klecko, Mark Gastineau sack attack. It's one of those days where everyone gets a half a sack. Bobby Okereke, half a sack. Michael McFadden, half a sack. Rochi, half a sack. Kayvon, half a sack. Dexter Lawrence, 2 sacks. Azeez Ojulari got the sack. Brian Burns got a sack and a strip fumble. And then we got another sack from Jason Pinnock. Solid effort by the defense. They were put in a vicarious situation at times with the offense, but you know what? It was a solid effort. You played extremely well against the Cleveland Browns. You played, I mean, like I said, you got to give the defense all the credit in the world. The fumbling. Daniel Jones with a fumble. Eric Gray with a fumble. Devin Singletary with a fumble. That we got to work on a little bit. That we got to kind of figure out something with, and we got to figure that out quickly. Malik Nabers, of course, had the 2 big touchdowns in the first half. He had targeted 12 times for 8 receptions for 78 yards, only 9.8 yards a reception. But you know what? He came up that one touchdown at that touchdown in the back of the end zone. I mean, how many other wide receivers make that touchdown? How many others really make that play? You got to give Malik Nabers. Malik Nabers is something special. He also tried to throw. Well, that wasn't that special, but that's all right. You know what? When you win 21-15 against a team that so many people had you not beating on their home turf, Cleveland Brown is now 0-2 at home. Now the Giants are 1-1 away. You got to enjoy the moment. And we've talked about it before. Moments are fleeting, so you have to enjoy this moment right now, because you got to strap it back up again and go up against the Dallas Cowboys on Thursday Night Football. You got to give a big shout out to Shane Bowen and his defense. Like I said, you got to give a big shout out to Daniel Jones for that first half. The second half was very unmemorable. I don't know if Dabes kind of went in the tank a little bit, if the defense stiffened up a little bit, but it could be a little bit of both. You got to thank Deshaun Watson for fumbling twice. Thank you, Deshaun Watson. Thank you. He fumbled twice and lost 2 of them. So we thank you. We thank you from the bottom of the heart. I have to give you a Christmas card. I have to send Deshaun Watson a Christmas card because without his inept play, I don't think the Giants win this one. But like I said, I have to, like I said, I am totally impressed by right now what Shane Bowen did this week and the game plan that he had this week going into Cleveland. You have to give him all the props. Like I said, Daniel Jones had a great first half. Malik Nabers had a great first half, but all the props and all the kudos and attributes and accolades and everything else really has to go to the defense. Without this defense and without the way they played, we're not winning this game. They played lights out. They came up like 7-up when they needed to. They got the sacks when they needed to. Kayvon even got a half a sack. Brian Burns had a moment where he did something. So you know what? So he got that strip sack. So you got to just be happy of what's going on. It was a total team effort in reference to the defense getting after Deshaun Watson, just making his life miserable for 60 minutes. And like I said, I just have to give big kudos. Like I said, you got to give kudos to Daniel Jones for that first half. But you know what? People would say, well, you're going to be a hater now. I'm just going to point out something that people need to remember. There are more than one half to a football game. And if our defense doesn't play lights out and we're not playing the lights of Deshaun Watson, I'm not 100% sure how this game goes out. But you know what? A win is a win because you can only play the teams that are on your schedule. Like I said before, I had us taking this win. I had us taking this game 16-10 because, like I said, I have no faith in Deshaun Watson. Zero faith in Deshaun Watson. I think his days as an NFL quarterback should be numbered. Want to give a big shout out also to Malik Willis and the Green Bay Packers for that big, I believe it was, 30-17 to all the people that said Malik couldn't play in this league. I don't want to be a player no more. You want to know why? Because I'm Malik Willis. Big shout out to Malik. You gotta give. I mean, they always say this was going to be a revenge game for him, but there was no revenge. He even said there's no revenge game here. So big shout out to Daniel Jones for that first half. Big shout out to Malik Nabers for those 2 touchdowns. Big shout out to the Giants defense and Shane Bowen. And you know what? If you want to feel good about the rest of the season, if you want to feel like it's going to be something, something to build on, you got to beat Dallas at home. That's plain and simple. You don't beat Dallas at home. This win in Cleveland was nothing. So that's what you have. That's what you have to do. You got to take care of business at home. There's still a lot of deficiencies on this team, but for 1 week, a lot of them were masked by an outstanding pass rush, and we got to just keep bringing the sack attack. Oh, I can't wait till Monday's stream. Make sure y'all stay tuned for that. This is Tim's New York Times Straight Talk, powered by Online Big Blue LLC. And you know what? I'm out of here.